My name's Lindy Wood, and I work at the Atlanta Community Food Bank. And I'm going to read a story called Maddi's Fridge. It was written by Brandt, and it is illustrated by Vin Vogel. And we here at the Food Bank think it's a really great book. When Sofia and Maddi played at the park, they stretched their toes to the sky, they climbed to the top of the ladder, and flew off the end of the slide. They stayed until the buildings grew long shadows, and even the taxis stopped honking. You can see the climbing wall here, Maddi and Sofia on the swing, and Mom over there by the bench. "Let's play on the climbing wall," Maddi said. "No way," Sofia said. "I can't reach." "Yes way," Maddi shouted as she scooted to the top of the wall. "Your turn." Sofia put a foot on the bottom rock, grabbed with one hand and stretched, but she couldn't reach the next hold. Sofia's stomach growled. "I give up. Let's get a snack." "No way," Maddi said. "Let's stay here." "Yes way." Sofia ran to Maddi's building and raced up the stairs. "Wait!" Maddi ran after her. Maddi was the best climber, but Sofia was the fastest runner. Sofia swung open the door of Maddi's fridge. "What have you got?" "We have milk," Maddi said. "I'm saving it for Ryan. He's still little." "Why doesn't your mom go to the store?" Sofia asked. "We don't have enough money." "But what if you get hungry?" "We have some bread," Maddi said. "I guess I'll go home to eat," said Sofia. "Please don't tell anyone," Maddi said. "Okay. Promise?" "I promise." Sofia ran home past the bookstore and the grocery store. The sun went down behind the buildings and took all the colors with it. "Good timing," Mom said. "Dinner's about ready." Luis was wrestling on the floor with Pepito. Sofia opened the refrigerator door. Pepito peeked inside. Sofia's fridge was full of milk and eggs and tortillas and cheese and lettuce and jam and salsa and tofu and even a half a can of dog food. "Here you go," Mom said. Sofia and Luis each had a plate of fish and rice. Mom had a plate of fish and rice. Even Pepito had his bowl of dog food with a little bit of fish and rice. Maddi and Ryan only had some bread and a small carton of milk. Sofia couldn't tell Mom. She had to keep her promise to Maddi. "Not fish again," Luis said. "I want cheesy pizza bombs." "Cheesy pizza bombs are a treat," Mom said. "Fish is a good source of protein." "Is fish good for kids?" Sofia asked. "Yes," Mom said. "Fish is perfect for kids." That night, Sofia had an idea. "Yuck," Maddi said the next day. "Oh," Sofia said, "double yuck. Fish may be good for kids, but fish is not good for backpacks." After school, Sofia and Maddi raced to the climbing wall. Sofia got there first, but Maddi scrambled past her to the top of the wall. Sofia stretched and stretched. "Keep trying," Maddi said. "You'll get it." "I can't," Sofia said. "It's too high." That night, Sofia, Luis, and Mom ate frittata. Pepito had his dog food with a little bit of frittata. Maddi and Ryan still had an empty fridge. Sofia couldn't ask for help. That would break her promise. She had to try again. "Are eggs good for kids?" Sofia asked. "Not as good as cheesy pizza bombs," Luis said. "Cheesy pizza bombs are a treat," Mom said. "Eggs are good for you." After dinner, Sofia packed eggs for Maddi and Ryan. See her down here packing our eggs. "Yuck," Maddi said. "Double yuck," Sofia said. Eggs may be good for kids, but eggs are not good for backpacks. Look at that, all the eggs broke in that stinky bag. Sofia and Maddi raced to the climbing wall. Sofia won again, but Maddi shot past her to the top of the wall. Sofia grabbed on one hold, reached for the next, and came down with a thump. That happens sometimes, Maddi said. This is impossible, Sofia said. Keep trying, Maddi said. You'll get it. That night, Sofia, Luis, and Mom had burritos. Pepito had his dog food with a little bit of burrito and no salsa. Maddi and Ryan still had an empty fridge. Sofia wished she hadn't promised Maddi. Are burritos good for kids? Sofia asked. Burritos are very good for you, Mom said. Not as good as, Luis started to say. You should pay attention to nutrition like your sister, Mom said. The next morning, Sofia put 2 burritos in her backpack, along with some tortillas, beans, and cheese, and even some milk. No thanks, Maddi said when she saw the backpack. You haven't even looked, Sofia said. Is it fish? Maddi asked. No. Is it eggs? No. Is it gross? I don't know, Sofia said. Maddi shook the backpack. Something swished. Let's look together, Maddi said. 1, 2, 3, go! Burritos are good for kids and good for backpacks. Do you want some milk? Sofia asked. Thanks, Maddi said, but I'll save that milk for Ryan. Sofia and Maddi raced to the climbing wall. Sofia won and tried to climb. You can do it, Maddi said. Take my hand. Whoa! Look, she made it to the top of the wall. We're the tallest kids in the park, Maddi said. Thanks for helping me, Maddi. I couldn't have done it without you. Maddi shrugged. That's what friends are for. After they finished playing, Sofia walked home past the bookstore and the grocery store. Her own fridge was full of milk and juice and chicken and yogurt and bread and carrots and even half a can of dog food. She thought and she thought. Maddi's fridge only had 2 tortillas, a cup of beans, and a bit of cheese, a little bit more milk than before. Sofia didn't want to break her promise, but she couldn't help Maddi alone. Sofia told. She hoped Maddi wouldn't be mad. I'm glad you told me, Mom said. Let's see what we can do together. They loaded grocery bags with milk, flour, chicken, carrots, sugar, oil, and even frozen meat and vegetables. Luis pulled his package of cheesy pizza bombs out of the freezer. He thought and he thought and he thought. And then he put his cheesy pizza bombs in Maddi and Ryan's bag. For a treat, he said. At Maddi's apartment, the moms talked. Luis and Ryan played. Sofia ran to the park with Maddi. You broke your promise, Maddi said. I'm sorry, Sofia said. Are you mad? A promise is important, Maddi said. You're more important, Sofia said. I wanted you to have milk too. Maddi smiled. Are we still friends? Sofia asked. Always, Maddi said. Double always, Sofia said. Cheesy pizza bombs, Luis yelled. Our moms made cheesy pizza bombs for a treat. Sofia and Maddi raced up the stairs. Sofia slowed down so they could run together. That's what friends are for. The end. So what do you think Sofia and Maddi learned in the process of this book? I think some things that I'd like you to think about are that, that if you know of a friend or a neighbor who might not have enough food to eat, it's really okay to tell a parent and get an adult involved, because sometimes they can do things that we can't do as kids. When you have friends over to play, have them make a really healthy, fun snack that everybody can eat. Sometimes there are a lot of kids who don't have enough food to eat, unfortunately, and they're just like you and me, and they may even be in your school, but they might not feel comfortable telling anybody about it. So so think with your teachers and your parents and your friends about ways that you can help fight child hunger from your own community, from your own home, from your own school. You can make posters encouraging people to help, and you could also reach out to your local food bank and find out what they're doing to and address child hunger and see how you might get involved. Let us know if it can help. Thanks.